Come to Yorinto Shamgash. Buy fish, only the best and fresh from the Red Sea.
Madame?
Just where did I put it?
Lovely adherers of the crunchy pleasures, crow in delight as your teeth sink into a golden brown loaf of our unrivaled fresh and tasty bread. Noble citizens of Ark, lift your
Madame?
lips in untamed desire at the ambrosial smells of our unrivaled fresh and
Is it important?
Walkwest.
Yes?
Can I help you?
You're scaring him!
Do you hear it?
Yes. Would you like some fresh fish? A sunchilder. I bet you keep.
My dam, you look
A
as though
foreigner,
you have
huh?
a kind
What a
heart.
surprise.
Please, spare a penny for me. Just one.
Yes? Aye, we are. This time it'll be exciting. The Ringmaster plans to pair you with Raga Shadowclaw.
Should have placed my money on the Eternal.
No, but you will soon. She's an alchemist. Small tip from my side, don't let her tender appearance fool you. You'll see why. Alright, I'll wait. But don't take too long.
What? That's all you got? Come on.
Come to beds. Talk to her.
So many fights.
What do you want?
Money. So many fights, so little money.
Aren't you eager? You know the drill. Go downstairs and warm up. The fight will take place in a couple of hours.
This is the fourth battle of the mysterious newcomer called the Prophetess. But will it also be the last? Because this time we picked a special treat for her to feast on. Mesdames and messieurs, you came for blood, and you shall have it.
Some folks just never learn. 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 Some folks just never learn.
Blistering blazes, what a punch!
learn. Some folks just never learn.
Not bad.
Folks just never learn.
Look who's back! Not bad, not bad. I was expecting you to pee your pants after she did that little trick of hers. But no. You kept your cool as usual. Sure you don't want to start working as a mercenary? You could make more money that way. Either way, here's your pay. I had hoped you'd ask that. Aye, I do. And this time, you're in for a real challenge. No. If you're man enough, you'll fight the beast tonight. Aye, the pride of the pit. And the good thing about it, even if you hack it to shreds, all we need to do is give it some elixir and have our necromancer stick it back together, and it's as good as new. I won't lie though. It'll be hard this time, and chances are you won't make it out alive. If you do make it though, it'll be worth your time. Something like that, aye. But let's not dwell on the details, shall we? All right, I'll wait. But don't take too long.
to bed. Talk to Rash.
Yes?
Move along.
Go away! You're scaring him!
I bet you came to watch those fools cut their open in the dust pit. Well, that's the only reason you snobs ever come down here.
Move along.
From the upper city, huh? You got guts walking around with all that stuff down here. Come to bed. Talk to Rasha.
What do you want? Thought so. Well then.
But can the prophetess also oppose the beast that's been soaking this soil in blood for decades? We shall see. Unleash the beast!
Let's see you dance, prophetess. Look out! Good. That's enough. Let's talk. fair enough. This is better. Forgive me my dramatic entrance. I was just about to explain. I'm Thero Naris, voice of the Father. I've been watching you for a while now because I'm looking for someone with your set of skills. And, our little encounter down in the pit erased the last doubts I had about you. That accent. You're an outlander, aren't you? Shit. Does that mean I have to explain who the Relator is to you? You've got guts, I'll give you that. The Relator is more than a bunch of criminals, though. But we'll get there. Regarding your original question, the Voices are the military arm of the Relator. I'm sure you've seen some of us before. We come into play when a matter needs a strong hand to resolve itself. Indeed. Let me get straight to the point. I want to hire you for a mission. Well, you look like someone willing to slaughter other people in front of a gawking crowd for a handful of coins. At least that's what you did down there. Don't get me wrong, I don't judge. The pit fighters know what they're getting themselves into. But after what I saw you do down there, I concluded that you're willing to do a lot of things if the pay is right. Or am I wrong? Well then. Well, actually, it's simple. I want your help in killing someone. The Father. Their leader, not mine. When I was 6 years old, the Relator abducted me and a dozen other children. That is, they bought us. Shagun, the old cunt who owned our orphanage, she sold us like cattle. Us, and over the years at least a dozen more. And we all came from the same orphanage. The refuge. And no, I have no idea what they did to us. I remember nothing. Why? Probably because the father shoved an ingot of gold up her ass for every child she sold. But the flesh maggots got her a while ago, so she took her reasons to the grave with her. Yes. That's the big question, isn't it? At first I thought it was about child trafficking. You know, tender little knaves and girls for rich bastards. Ark's bigwigs. Yet now I've come to the conclusion that it must have been about science. Experiments. Only the Father. As I said, I'm pretty sure you have the wrong idea about them. The Relator doesn't see itself as a guild of murderers, but as a faith. A sect. A cult, in other words. The blackmailing, the shadow tax, is how they finance their little community. That the physical body is the worst thing that ever happened to man. It's a hull that needs to transcend. But we digress. If we're to work together, you'll soon have some rogue cultists telling you all this shit anyway. Kind of. After the Father was done with us, he simply disposed of our corpses. This is also the first memory I have of that time after the abduction. Waking up in a pile of dead bodies. I don't know exactly, but I must have been somewhere between 12 to 14 years old. Still half a child, in other words. As you can imagine, I was a mess for the first few moons after that. Once I was able to think somewhat straight again, I looked for help in the upper city. Of course, the guards didn't believe a word of what I said and sent me right back down into the caverns. No. And frankly, it doesn't surprise me. I'm sure hundreds of ragged kids from the Undercity had come to them before, telling them horror stories about how much they suffered down there only to get a bed and some food. Also, as you may have figured out by now, the Order doesn't have any power down here. The Relata controls the caves, and that's how it will stay. Many things are horrible. Still they happen. Correct. Let's put it this way. I came to realize that no matter how much I cursed and cried, nobody would come to my help. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. I told myself how to survive and how to fight. And years later, I entered the dust pit for the first time. One of the voices saw how well I could fight and offered me to study the Relars. Their codex, their holy scripture, written by the Father himself. I shaved my head and became a scion, the lowest rank. 8 years ago. The Father doesn't bother with most Relame, especially not with the scions. Also, when they discarded me, I was still a child. Now, I'm a man. Revenge. Yes. I want this monster to pay for what he did to me and the others. And I want to make sure that it will never hurt anyone again. Ever. One of the core beliefs of the Relata concerns the Day of Transcendence. It's the day when every Relame who's ever proven him or herself worthy leaves their body to continue existing as an immortal, immaterial being. And they also believe that this day is imminent, since the Father found a way to achieve transcendence for himself and for his lambs. In the weeks to come, he will set out an expedition to the Frostcliff Mountains. Since this expedition will be an extremely dangerous undertaking, he will bring along almost a dozen of the best mercenaries available. You will be one of them, and together, we will kill the Father. I'm telling you this because I need someone who knows how to kill. Better than the usual cutthroat you find down here. And you seem to be that someone. Also... Never mind. As I said, you can fight. That's enough. Well, I can pay you 400 pennies now, and 800 more once the Father is dead. Also, think of all the riches that we'll find in the temple itself, or in the Relata's treasure chambers. It will be worth it. You can trust me on that. Well, let's put it this way. I took precautions. If you don't have the guts to help me, your choice, but... believe me, if you do try to backstab me, you'll regret it. Well, the Relata spent the last 2 years excavating an old temple that apparently was lost in the glacier for centuries. Now, according to the Father, this is where we'll find the key to achieve transcendence, but that's about all I know. No, you either agree now, or the offer's off the table. I can't afford to lose any more time. By doing something that impresses him. As you can imagine, the Relata already has its stock of sellswords they rely on. But if we do something that impresses the Father or the First Seer, it might be enough to convince him to hire you. Look, I know how shaky it sounds, but it's our best bet. So, are you with me or not? Absolutely. Meet me at the Wailing Tree, 2 hours from now. Here. This will help you get back to the Undercity in case you need to return to the surface before our meeting. Stay safe.
He was a good man. Live along.
Now you're quite the sight. How about
My
a little bit of
ding.
fun?
You're not from here, are you?
You're not one of the Relata's mercenaries, are you? Word has it they're hiring again. Give him a white berth if I were you.
There you are. Ready? Tree. Oh, yeah, sure. The people down here call it the Weeping Tree. They believe that the Black Guardian, once a year, fulfills one of the wishes they write onto these notes. Superstitious nonsense, of course. They might as well send their wishes to the Blue Island Coalition. Maybe. Ready to set out? What do you think? Because we don't want to draw any attention. If somebody sees me walking around with you, it won't be the end of the world, but I don't want to cause unnecessary problems. First a question. Have you ever heard of the Night of the Blind Daughters? A massacre that took place 20 years ago. It was at the Farmer's Coast, around midsummer. The farmers had just put out the lights after a long day's work. Suddenly, shrouded figures showed up out of nowhere, with steel masks covering their faces. They broke into the houses and killed anybody who dared to stand in their way. While they merely wreaked havoc on most of the farms, any family with a daughter between 12 and 16 winters was less lucky. All in all, these masked people took 10 daughters that night and carried them away. They were found 1 week later. They lay on the Penny Road, mutilated with their eyes sewn shut. 1 girl each mile. They tried, but the few farm boys who were there in time stood no chance. These masked attackers were assassins, as deadly as the Petrified and as brutal as Lost Ones. To this very day, no one knows. However, there are theories. Do the names the Black Lieber and J.L. Tannerson ring a bell? The Butcher of Ark? Yes. Thing is, in this book he left behind, Tannerson claims to have been part of a cult called the Black Libra. Even nowadays there are still scholars that deny its existence, but according to Tannerson, they see themselves as some kind of counterbalancing power. They make sure that malice and sin, they don't gain the upper hand in this world, and that the scales of good and evil thus stay in balance. Well, this is where it gets bizarre. Normally, the Libra only kills people who have already sinned. Tyrants, rapists, murderers, and so on. Which is also why the attack on the Farmer's Coast didn't make any sense, and still doesn't for most people today. However, the father has a theory. Well, he does have an avid interest in them. Let's put it this way. He has dug up every little bit of information that there is. But we'll come to that later. According to the father, the Black Libra chooses their sinners through the dreams of some kind of holy child. The dreams are interpreted by the Libra's priests who extract the names and faces of evildoers from them. However, the child doesn't just see people who have already sinned. She also sees evil in its inception. Thus, the Libra might decide to kill a boy before he becomes a tyrant, or a girl before she gives birth to a murderer. I know, it sounds insane, but that's what it is. But apparently the Libra fully believes in this principle. The child is omniscient. Yes. So it would seem, though according to the father, they wouldn't have just been ordinary murderers, but emissaries of the end. Whatever that may mean. Simple. The father believes that the Black Libra knows the secret to transcendence. This is why he's been studying Tennyson's books like a madman. Especially one in particular, in which he describes the initiation ritual he underwent to become one of their assassins. And I also think that this temple in the Frostcliff Mountains is somehow related to the Libra. Long story short, apparently the pages of Tennyson's original manuscript describing the initiation ritual in detail were forcefully torn out, and the father wants to find them. Right. And I happen to know the only person who might be able to tell us their whereabouts. A man named Collian. Correct. He was also an assassin of the Libra, and Tennyson's mentor. In other words, an unscrupulous piece of shit that did nothing but murder people for decades, guilty, innocent alike. According to the father, he was also the one who orchestrated the Night of the Blind Daughters. However, that massacre seems to have been too much even for his rotten conscience to bear, because he left the Libra shortly thereafter. He took on a new identity. He's been living as a beggar in the Undercity ever since. I saw him once. It's no wonder that nobody knows what kind of monster he is. He's gone completely insane. Drinks away every penny he gets his hands on. Exactly. If we bring them to the First Seer and I tell him how I couldn't have done it without you, he might consider hiring you for the expedition. That's the plan. Not the best one, certainly, but, all we're getting. Then we'll need to improvise. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that. He currently lives in the communes. That is, if he isn't in some whore's bed in the Silver Cloud right now or getting hammered in the False Dark. I'll let you do the talking. It's unlikely that the First Seer will find out, but the more you actually help me on this mission, the more convincing our little story will be. One more thing. Don't go easy on that scum. He might seem harmless now, but remember what he's done. And remember that those 10 mutilated girls on the Penny Road are just one more page in this man's book of sins.
Bloody rats, eating the last penny right out your pocket. Steel clamps, always in the way of progress.
Yes. Woman thinks she's Vatira incarnate.
Some people just don't know their that.
my dam?
Please, just leave me be.
Hello.
Well, look at that. Our friend has a visitor. Get out of here.
What?
I said, get out of here. We need 10 minutes. Afterwards, you can fuck as many men as you want.
Of course, my lord. At once.
Interesting. Oh, I'll bring a bouquet of flowers next time. Yes. Never mind. Look at him. Pissed like a rat. A miracle he could even get it up. I sure as fuck don't want you to cuddle with him. And again, never forget what this man did. He may look pathetic, but that doesn't change the fact that he orchestrated the murder of 10 girls. Innocent girls. Well, look at that. Our friend has a visitor. Get out of here.
What?
I said, get out of here. We need 10 minutes. Afterwards, you can fuck as many men as you want.
Of course, my lord. At once.
Interesting. Yes. Never mind. Look at him. Pissed like a rat. A miracle he could even get it up. I sure as fuck don't want you to cuddle with him. And again, never forget what this man did. He may look pathetic, but that doesn't change the fact that he orchestrated the murder of 10 girls. Innocent girls.
Who are you? Nylock is tired. Nylock needs sleep. Kalian? No. Kalian is dead. You're talking to Nylock, his shadow. Why do you ask? Who are you? Oh, of course. Nylock understands. You remind him of Kalian when he still lived. So much anger in you, so much hatred. Kalian knew this feeling too well. This anger, this cold, rotten wrath. And then the dream came and showed him his calling. But he was so blind, he didn't see where the road led him. Only when those little flowers' corpses lay dead in the dust did he see what he had done, what he had become. Now Kalian has been punished. He's dead, and Nylock deserves to suffer for eternity. How much? He doesn't remember. He always drinks when he has the coin for it. He sniffs, and sometimes, when the people are generous, he buys himself a night with Anna. They're the deeds of a coward, and he knows it. But the brandy, the dust, and Anna, they help him forget. Help him ease the pain. Pages? Naylock doesn't know what you mean. Now please, go. Naylock is tired and needs to sleep.
All right. Let me rephrase my friend's words. You stop playing confused oracle and fucking tell us what we want to know now. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll let you live. Are we clear?
But Naylock just...
Are we clear?
Yes, sir. Naylock understands. Please forgive him. So, the pages. Yes, of course, the pages. Naylock remembers. Kalian tore them from Tannerson's book before the world could see them. No! I told you! So why are you not listening? Kalian is dead! Don't you understand? He's dead, and Naylock buried him! Oh, no, he's sorry. Please don't hurt him. He will not raise his voice again.
Look at him. He's gone completely insane. I'm guessing all this Naylock talk is a way for his brain to cope with the guilt. He's created a new persona without all the blood on his hands. That is, unless he's lying.
What? Why? Why should Naylock lie? What? Why? Why should Naylock lie? Yes, of course. But tell me, what do you want with them? You won't be able to read them. Because they're written in the language of the Libra. Even Kalian couldn't read a single word of them. Isn't it obvious? Because something else guided Tannerson's hand when he wrote them. Naylock doesn't have a choice, does he? All right, he will do as you demand. The pages, he buried them together with his old skin. He can show you the pages. But tell him, my dam, if he shows you the pages, could you... Well, Naylock is hungry, Naylock is thirsty, and he has no more coin. But... Good. Naylock understands. And maybe you're right. You treat him like what he is. Vermin. Human waste. Come, follow. My sir, Naylock has a question.
What?
Your face. You seem familiar. Are you certain that you have never met Naylock before?
How would I know? Maybe. What? Why? Fine. I can give you the essentials, but beyond that, I can't be bothered. Ask. Above all else, to leave your old life behind you. All contact is buried, all bridges burned. Most Relaim call themselves orphans even if they once had a family. In other words, if you conscribe yourself to the Relata, the Relas and his teachings are your new life, and the Relaim your new family. Everything you do, everything you think, everything you dream is subject to the goal of achieving transcendence. Liberation from the human body. this and that. Most of the time I'm busy reminding the residents of the Undercity to pay their shadow tax, and to make them feel the consequences if they don't. Anything from a clout to the ear to a knife between the ribs. Alright, two things. First of all, I've killed no more than a handful of people for the Relata, and they weren't poor women with babes sucking at their teats, but scum who knew the rules and thought they could play rebel. Believe me, it takes a lot for the Relata to order the death sentence for someone. They are criminals, yes, and they are led by a monster, but they are not stupid. If every misdemeanor were to be punished by decapitation, it wouldn't be long until there'd be a revolt in the Undercity. Secondly, nothing in life comes for free. If you think you can achieve something of relevance without compromising a part of yourself, then you're a fool. The death of the father could be worth 100 dead cutthroats, and I'd put arrows into each of their chests if it would get me any closer to my goal. Call it what you will. Glad to be of service. You can trust me on one thing, though. Killing these people, it didn't come easy. And some of the things that I did to not lose my cover will haunt me to the grave. But you know what? Sad as it is, the world needs people like me. All these do-gooders who think they could fight evil without getting their hands dirty are self-righteous idiots. The monsters of this world, the murderers, the tyrants. You need to speak their language if you want to be a threat to them. Everything else is a delusion. Since the father founded it, 400 years ago. Correct. Nobody knows, but I would guess it had something to do with his experiments. All those children's corpses must have been good for something, don't you think? That's a bloody stupid question. Okay, let's assume for a moment that we don't intervene and kill the father on the expedition. There are three possible scenarios to how this visit to the room of paintings would go down. Number one, it goes wrong and he and whoever follows him inside all die. This is the only case where you're right. Number two, he succeeds and actually manages to separate his mind from his body. Then we'd have a spectral murderer floating through the world possessing powers we can't even begin to imagine. Number three, the temple turns out to be a dead end and he returns to the Undercity. Then we might have missed the only chance to even get close enough to kill him. You get my point? It's too much of a risk to sit on our hands and hope scenario number one happens. This is the way to the tar pit. Are you sure that's where we're supposed to be going? I warn you, if this is a trap...
It's not, my sir. Nylock is vermin, but he knows when he has to obey. You can trust him.
But fine.
Look at that. Another snob from the surface.
Ahoy.
Hold it right there, old man. Where do you think you're going? You're a little too old for digging.
He belongs to us. We're acting under the Father's orders.
Brother Wrath, from ashes to blood, from blood to liberation. I didn't recognize you. Forgive me.
From ashes to blood, from blood to liberation. Let us through.
Of course. Father's blessings.
Father's blessings. Keep going, scum.
Yes, of course. Yes, we're here. This is where he buried the pages.
The deserted tunnels. We should be wary. There are a lot of lowlifes down here.
Someone's dead.
Look out!
Just a scratch.
You fucking scum! You'll pay for that!
The deserted tunnels. We should be wary. There are a lot of lowlifes down here.
Finally, some fun.
Look.
That's all you've got? You fucking scum! You paid for that!
The deserted tunnel.
Enemy!
Just a scratch.
Look out!
Waste of time.
Damn you!
Fucking scum!
there. That's where he buried his old skin. Please, my sir. You need to just take these last few steps alone. Naylock can't. He just can't.
Is this a trap?
What? No, of course not. It's just... Naylock can't. Don't you understand? To see him after all this time? No. Kill Naylock if you don't believe him, but he will stay.
Fine. You go on ahead.
Skeleton! You need to dig!
Don't shout! Enemy! Pathetic. Skeleton. I'm not seeing anything. Let's look around. Let me see. Yeah, well that looks promising. Then I guess we need to dig. Come help me. Here we go. This must be it. Pretty big. What the blazes did he put in there? What's that smell? What the? Oh, shit! Well, good question. You want to know what I think? This is probably some poor sod that crossed this lunatic's path at the wrong time. So we put him right into the crate with the pages. Bloody son of a whore. Oh, fuck if I know. We're talking about a man who murdered 10 girls in cold blood because his cult ordered him to do it. I think you'd be well advised to stop trying to apply logic to his thinking. Right you are. Come on, you take them.
He said it before, didn't he? Colleen couldn't continue to live in this shell after what he did, so he shed it and gave birth to Naylock. and Naylock buried him, together with the memories. You don't believe him. You think Naylock is lying. But it's the truth, the simple truth. You two, more than anyone else, should understand.
Sure. Either way, we have what we wanted. And now it's time for you to pay for your crimes, Carlion. It's been long overdue.
What? But you said that you'd spare him if he'd show you the pages!
We said that we would think about it. And guess what? I did. You're a murderer, Carlion. And you've killed more people than I can count. Men, women, and children. And you know what? This whole act about how remorseful you are, I'm not buying it. Yes, you drank your bloody brains into oblivion, but ultimately, the only one you truly pity is yourself. Shut up. What? And to you, that's all that matters. If we let him live, even as a stinking beggar, we spit on the graves of those 10 girls, as well as on everyone else this piece of shit has butchered. This is about justice. I thought you'd be bright enough to understand that. It's not. But fine. As you wish. You heard it, scum. Today's your lucky day. You...
Letho.
What?
Naylock remembers. By the name of the sun, you were in the refuge orphanage, you and your friend, Letho.
What do you know about the refuge?
Back then, before the flesh maggot plague, when Naylock was still strong, the Kyranian woman who ran the orphanage gave him work. Don't you remember? He carried crates, he cleaned the floor, he cooked.
That was you? Uncle Naylock?
Yes, that's what you called him, Uncle Naylock. By the Guardians, it's been so long, but he remembers it all now. You and your friend, you were inseparable. Until...
You're right. I do remember.
What?
You were there when they took us. Worse, you helped them. What did she pay you, that old cunt? Huh? Carrying crates? Selling children to the Rolada? All the same, isn't it?
No, what? Naylock doesn't understand. He only...
Let's go. Yeah. His face seemed familiar, but I just couldn't place him. Yeah. We called him Uncle Naylock. Shagun, the matron, gave him work as a gopher. He wasn't as much of a wreck back then. Can you believe it? A former serial killer working in an orphanage. Apparently the old cunt liked to surround herself with people as rotten as she was. It doesn't matter. I know it. He'd been there the night it happened. One of us, Wilma, she refused to go. She screamed and kicked, but Naylock held her while one of the father's voices gave her a sleeping potion. That fucking piece of shit. I did. But that was before I knew the whole truth. Well, as I said, we're done here. Next we need to bring the pages to the first seer, which will, hopefully, encourage him to consider you as a mercenary for the expedition. But we'll see. Before we do that, though, we need to discuss a couple of things. We cannot afford a single mistake if we want this to work. Meet me in my hideout tomorrow morning, alright? It's a small abandoned warehouse in the main cabin, right before the path up to the city. There's an old poster of the theater right next to the door. That's how you recognize it. The dark corners of our minds. Because the risk's a lot higher that somebody will see us. Until then.
Ah, Relata Shera.
Pity.
Any
He
news?
was a good man.
I guess you could say that.
Huh?
Remember that old tramp who was stealing from the Scions? We found him last night. In the Silver Cloud.
Really?
Really? He'd spent all the money on young men. He was atty when we got him. Should have seen it. He was so busy moaning like a sea dog that he didn't even see us arrive. I clear my throat and he looks up, screams and tries to make a run for it, but forgets that his little boys tied him to the bedposts. I'll never forget that look on his face.
Oh boy, I wish I'd been there.
Wait, I'm not done yet. He seriously insisted that those two whores had held him there against his will.
What did you say?
Nothing. I knocked him out cold. Either way, I need to go. Father's blessing, sister.
Father's blessings.
We're
Move along.
What a surprise. Didn't think I'd ever see you again. I don't want to know. If the Relata asks, you don't ask questions. That's the first rule you should hammer into your head down here. In other words, it's fine. The crowd was a bit disappointed, but technically, you won. Though, as I'm sure you understand, I can't pay you this time. How about never? Why? Because no pit fighter, no matter how powdered and glimmer-capped dust he is, will voluntarily fight a friend of the Relata. If he loses, he dies. If he wins, he dies too. Because the Father's voice will come get him. And now come on, don't give me that look. You earned a shitload of money in a very short time. Maybe you can come back in a couple of moons or so, if the dust has settled. But until then, forget about it. What do you want?
from the upper city, huh? You got guts walking around with all that stuff down here.
They just sit on their asses and let things settle themselves. done that already. We always go too easy on the scum.
Should be it.
Well.
Be careful, my dame. The streets aren't safe at this hour.
If only that man knew a thing or two about reliability.
Hey! You're an adventurer, aren't you? Have you been to... how do they say it? Melee? My dad told me that's where the petrified live. You're not from here, are you? I heard you talk.
Greetings.
Hello. Hungry for arcane secrets? I have books, scrolls, potions, anything for friends.
Sure, take a look.
We always go too easy on this guy.
Walk last.
Rumors about the horrible events of the past week.
Sure, take a look.
The horrend madness that befalls peaceful souls, driving them to deeds of pathless atrocity.
Walk blessed.
Huh? Can I help you?
I put that? Oh, hello. I'm in. Oh, a bit of this and that. Feel free to take a look. Walk blessed.
Greetings. Aye, sure. Take your time. It's not as if there's much to do down here anyway. Malthus bless your travels.
Only the best. Great as he has done for a millennia.
Yes?
Hello? Of course. Of course. Walk blessed.
Walk blessed.
Have you heard the news about the Magister? Word has it that he murdered 30 novices, then killed himself up in the temple. Why, Malthus, what has become of this world?
No, I just put them out for you to look at. Tell me what you need, and be quick about it. Walk blessed.
May your path always be even.
Walk. Sure, take a look. Greetings. Sure, take a look. Walk blessed. Walk blessed. Sure, take a look.
Vegetables, bread fresh from the oven. Treat yourself.
Walk blessed.
They just sit on their asses and settle themselves.
Who adorn themselves with the name Disciples of the Sand. This cow. Attempted to store. Alice, the Golden Queen.
Who are you?
Then come and take a good long beat.
Shit.
fades away at the end of the day. Ta-dum-dum.
Walk blessed. What can I do for you?
Prevented their foul attack. Their
Come to Yorinto Shamba.
Walk. Sure, take a look.
Fresh from the Red Sea.
Walk blessed.
cowards and criminals.
Oh, hello. I'm... Oh, a bit of this and that. Feel free to take a look. Walk blessed.
Walk blessed.
Greetings. Walk blessed. Aye, sure. Take your time. It's not as if there's much to do down here anyway. May his light guide you.
Fruits, vegetables, bread fresh from the oven. Treat yourself.
How may I be of service? Of course. How may I be of service?